Hi, I'm Nicole Zaplicki, and I'm going to be covering APA Format 101, and I just want you to know right off the beginning that you don't need to be scared. This is easy. I think it's the easiest format to learn. Well, you may be asking why use APA. We've been using MLA in middle school and in high school, but APA is the widely accepted format for psychology, social sciences, and educational topics. And so we want to use the appropriate format for the topic that we're going to be researching. There are a lot of different formats out there, and it really depends on what topic you're researching. So you're going to have to get used to other types. And we do need to cite information, because if we don't, it's illegal. And that is another lesson that we will be covering. I'm going to start with the reference list because that is what you are most familiar with creating already. And the rules for APA are pretty basic. You want to alphabetize the list by the last name of the author or whatever is in that spot. So if there is no author and you're using something else in that spot, generally would be the title of the article, then you would alphabetize that way. You want to also have a hanging indent, which you can see right here. That first line is kind of sticking out, and there's some tips for doing that, and I'll show that in class. You want to make sure that it's double spaced, and you want to follow the basic guidelines. So you want your author's last name, comma, first initial. You can do the middle initial also if you would like, period. And then the year with the month and day following that in parentheses if the month and day are available. You want the article title in lowercase except for the first word and proper nouns. And there are some other exceptions, like after a colon or semicolon, the first word would also be capitalized. Your newspaper, magazine title, whatever the title of the journal is, would be in capitals and would also be italics. And also, if you're using a scholarly article, you would add the volume, issue number, and page range. Some of that would be in italics. The volume number would be in italics, and the issue number and page range would not. And there's some other examples that I can show you on that. Retrieved from, if you're using an electronic source, you would put the website. And if you're using a scholarly article, you would put the DOI number if that is available instead of the retrieved. And if you don't have a lot of information that's given, sometimes there's no author, you would then slide the title of the article, most likely. There are some circumstances where that would not happen. And then you also sometimes don't have a date available. In that case, you would put ND for where the date would be. And probably the hardest thing is learning to do proper in-text citations. It's really not that hard. When you're using information from another author, you need to make sure to give them credit. So you want to have their last name in your publication somewhere in that sentence. And here are my favorite ways. First, you can have the author's name and then the year in parentheses and then the basic idea that you're using. You could also put the idea first and then at the end have the name and the year in parentheses. And last, if you're using direct quotes right from the article, you want to make sure to have the author's name, year, and page number listed. So those are the basics. If there's no author, you would replace it with what's in the author's spot in the reference list. And if there's no date, you would replace it with ND, which is also what would be in the reference list. There are some really great resources for help. www.citethisforme.com is where you want to start for APA. Please go there. You want to check out APA Purdue OWL and the APA Style Guide. It's time to get started, so good luck, and here's a list of my references.